first of all, of course you want to know what the child likes to do. What are some of their hobbies? Because some of them might be as simple as they would just love you to come over and put together puzzles with them and stuff like that. Some just easy. Some of their favorite things could be very simple. I used to do. Or do they like to bowl, shopping, just TV? Do they like to watch TV, or is that something they do all the time and it's not going to be that fun? Going to the movies. Just, get to know your buddy, get to know the parents. I think that parents will, if a buddy asked me that, can Becky pay attention in a movie for 2.5 hours or whatever, it'll just give you an idea if that's a good fit for your buddy and you or not. And so there's just questions, general questions about what they like to do, and your buddy will probably tell you that too without even asking a parent those questions. The main thing for us was, just so you'll know, if you take your buddy somewhere, do you need to, that's going to cost money, is this something you need to help them with? Help them with their money, counting money, making sure they don't get ripped off at a restaurant. My favorite story was when Becky went to a restaurant with a friend, had dinner, and I think her bill, was like $5 or something. She put down a 10, and the waiter asked her if she wanted change, and she's like, no, because to her it was like a bunch of pennies or quarters. No, I don't want any change. So the waiter got off with a really, really nice tip. But that was a good learning experience. So just things like that you might want to ask the parents if they all needed some assistance with some money, and make sure they have enough money with them. Because you might say to your buddy, do you have money? And you're going to go to a movie, do you have some money? And they'll say, yeah, well, that might be $1. So just make sure that there's enough money to cover what you want to do with them. So it'll be a good, you're not out there to lose money on this deal. So we want to make sure that comes out right. And then, of course, what things that you want to avoid maybe doing with the child. Things maybe that they're scared of. Things that, like Diane said, things that might be unpleasant for them. Things that they don't like to do that are scary to them. A lot of kids have strange little quirks. Maybe you want to ask what the quirks are. They don't like to go places, or maybe things they don't like to put on. Maybe certain clothes aren't comfortable. Maybe they don't like their sunglasses. Just different things. But just don't feel bad about asking a parent. If the child has some little quirks, or imagine the parent would get tough. And then, of course, what time and day is going to work best for both of you to get together. So that I think that it was hard, to come up with a schedule right offhand. Every Wednesday is going to work great for me. And so I don't know how they do it now, but I know when Becky was in it, they made contact every week. Sometimes doing something, sometimes was making a phone call. And so it wasn't like you had to be together every week, but that maybe every Wednesday that phone call would be expected, and just to see what's going on for the next week. But just so they know what days and times work best for both of you, so that you can make sure right off that there's a good time there to meet. So I think, again, you always want to see your buddy as a person with abilities and not disabilities. They're going to be real excited to see you and to be with you. And I'm sure you guys are all here for a good reason. I know you're going to have fun and do the right thing. My name is Sherry. I work at the Special Ed Department here at KU also. And if you have any questions or want to ask me any dumb questions, feel free to come and see me. I'm on the 5th floor of the building. Does that help?
That's perfect.
Any questions, guys? Yes.
Do you want us, like, as a parent, when I called my buddy to inform him about our upcoming event, do you want us to also inform you?
Yes.
Maybe.
You bet. Yeah, because I'm not sure what age also that your buddies will be, but yeah, the parents will want to make sure the child's there at home or wherever you're going to pick up and meet. So yeah,
right.
You bet. In fact, a lot of times you may talk to the parent before you even talk to the buddy. Get that all arranged.
That's another thing. Whenever you do group events and you plan your next event, it's tell told to write down the next time you're going to meet, so then they can take that home and inform whoever they have to that on this day they agreed to meet. And then the parent can get back to you in case they have a dentist appointment, or, because they have lives too. You know, outside of you, they have a very social life as well. So they can tell you that they're available that night, but something else comes up and they can't meet.
Good question.
I'll tell you, Becky Sanoff is the busiest girl I know. She has more social events and events and stuff she does
Yeah.
than anybody I know.
They need more money.
Taxi driver. So they got a lot
But
going on.
yes, they do have a lot of things going on too, the parents, of course. Any other questions? Thank you.
Okay, I'm Shea Remsky. I'm a doctoral candidate. I'm also a sibling of a 36-year-old man at this point with more significant disabilities. So I've come at this from a little bit of a different point of view as a sibling, but certainly, you know, want to repeat what Sherry said. They are going to be so excited to spend some time with you guys, and you're just there to have fun. So remember that. So for me, when I thought about questions, there were some other things that I thought about. One thing is to ask when you're asking families or even siblings. Feel free to talk to siblings of the buddies that you're being paired up with. They have a lot of different types of information that they might share with you. For me, it's what really, what I would want to know, or what I would want somebody to ask me, is what really makes your brother unique? What makes him stand out from the rest? You may get that there are some challenges in that. You may get some more traits of kind of their formal diagnosis, but what you're really going to get is the critical information that's going to make them special and that's going to allow you to be able to interact with them. So my first question would be, you know, what makes them unique? The other thing that I think of, particularly because, you know, my brother has allergies, is are there any allergies? Because you're going to be having meals with these guys. You're going to be out in environments that you may not know if they have pollen allergies, or that's something for their safety and for when you're thinking about behaviors that you may exhibit. It may be because there's something environmentally that's triggering those. One for me is also, are there any medical concerns I need to be aware of? You may have a buddy who has seizures. Seizures come in very different forms. That's something you want to be aware of. There's, you know, there are minor seizures that are what generally are called staring spells, where the person is staring at you having a seizure, but it's not a very physical seizure, so you may not, to you it may appear that they're just not listening to you. Well, in actuality, they are having a seizure. It's important for you to know that. So if you see this blank stare across your buddy's face, you may know that, oh, if it's a seizure condition, it's not they're not listening to me, it's not that they're not paying, you know, they're not paying attention to what's going on, but it's a medical condition that you need to be aware of. And for their safety and your safety, those are things you should know about. So just kind of any medications, we talked that a lot of these individuals are taking medications. Is that something you need to be aware of when you're out? If you're at an extended period of time, do you need to worry about that? And I don't know if there are policies about medications that you guys deal with.
It's more with scheduling, so if you need to be conscious of their schedules and how their routines. And so if you're, obviously like overnights won't work or anything along those lines, but if they have to